Monsieur Poirot, I have some questions for you. Hey, it's him, here to talk about Cat Among the Pigeons, which is an Agatha Christie Hercule Poirot novel, first published in 1957, and boy does its age show. It is set in an all-girls school in England, supposedly a very, high-end school. Princesses and daughters of diplomats go there, and it has been built up over the years. It's backed by a duchess and whatnot, but unfortunately some murders occur, which is bad for the school's reputation, and they have a vested interest in not only keeping it relatively quiet, thank goodness for all their connections, but also maybe solving the murders before more can occur. The backstory to all this is a revolution in a made-up Middle Eastern country called Ramat. And that's where we get a little dicey in the 1950s politics and language and stereotypes. One of the girls at the school is a princess who was supposed to marry the now deposed and dead leader of this country, and there's a jewel heist kind of element to what's going on because that family that ruled this country had a bunch of jewels as their kind of their safety net, and people are like, where are these jewels? Who's got these jewels? And so there are there are multiple factions interested in finding these jewels, including the British government. So we've got some undercover guy at the girls' school, everybody keeping an eye on this princess, thinking that she will be, either she has the jewels or someone will bring them to her. It's a lot going on, and it's also not terribly kind to women, because the idea is that women, when they see these jewels, or women when they see any jewels, but these jewels are the jewels in the story, they lose their reason of sorts. Their eyes, light up, and they'll do anything for jewelry, I guess. Kind of a weird take, especially from a female author. Maybe Agatha Christie really liked jewelry. I don't know. Also, a little bit strange that Hercule Poirot focuses on girls' knees. Hence my question in the intro, because what? He at one point asks the police officers and the British intelligence officers who have been trying to solve this murder unsuccessfully, well, did you ever notice this girl's knees? And everybody just looks at him like, what? Which is the appropriate response. They should not be taking it as a given that these grown men are going to look at schoolgirls' knees. I would hope not. But Hercule Poirot was quite put out by the fact that they have not looked at these girls' knees, and the reason given is that, well, the girls wear skirts that go below their knees, and they also wear tall stockings, so their knees were not necessarily visible. It is a questionable moment. In any case, also a big problem, for me, a big problem with the book is that Hercule Poirot shows up at the 72% mark. So the first almost 3/4 of this book, I can do math, there's no Hercule Poirot, there's no mention of him. It's almost as if Christie wanted to write a book without Hercule Poirot, but knew that in order to sell it, she would have to have him show up at some point. And so she put him in as late as possible. I almost felt like she could have set this book up as having the British intelligence guy, whose name is Adam, as a new like character that she was gonna like start writing novels about or something. But no, but we spent a lot more time with him and the woman running the school and a couple of the schoolgirls who unwittingly have the answer to the question of where the jewels are. There is one enterprising young schoolgirl whose age is not terribly clear to me. She acts 9-ish in my mind, but I get the sense that she's at least a little older, maybe like 12 or 13. And there's much made in this book of, oh, but English girls, they don't mature as fast. And that was another thing. They were going on about how, oh, the Oriental girls, meaning the Middle Eastern princess, again, signs of its age, I guess, some of the terminology and stereotypes, but that these Middle Eastern girls or girls from other cultures grow up and mature so much faster than our English girls who are sheltered little greenhouse flowers. Okay. I don't know. There was just a lot of the casual stereotyping and strange things that are very common of books of this age and this ilk, written from this point of view. Agatha Christie, despite being very worldly, still had very much a British mindset, sentiment, and it shows in this book. Did I like it? I mean, I loved Hercule Poirot, and I've read all of the books. I read them all when I was much younger, and I pick up about one a year, sometimes more, but usually one a year to reread. And some of them I've reread multiple times. I love Murder in Mesopotamia. I love Death on the Nile. I like things with like archaeology involved, I guess, or old world places. Evil Under the Sun. Like, I've read and reread multiple ones of these. This one I could not remember. I must have read it like early on and never picked it up again. And rereading it, it was fine. I mean, I gave it 3 stars, I think, because it was fine for what it was. I understand that a lot of its flaws are based on its age and, again, the author's kind of mindset, which in 1957 was the mindset of a lot of people. I mean, not that it was right, but it wasn't uncommon. The fact that Hercule Poirot doesn't show up till very near the end of the book was for me a huge drawback, because I read a Hercule Poirot mystery to spend time with Hercule Poirot. I really enjoy him as a character. So all of this other stuff, it's a slow setup. There's a lot of backstory. There's just a lot of time at this school before anything happens. It is a short book. It was less than 300 pages, so it didn't take long to read or anything, but not one of my favorites. Just okay for me. That's why I gave it the 3 stars. If you've read it, or if you've read other Hercule Poirot novels that you really enjoy, let me know in the comments which ones are your favorites. I am rereading Shades of Grey by Jasper Fforde now. Not 50 Shades of Grey. That's something else that I have no desire to ever read. No shade to anybody, to anybody who does read it and enjoy it. It's just not my kind of book. But Shades of Grey was published in 2009, and I read it way back when it first came out and really, really enjoyed it. And finally, next May, supposedly, we're gonna get the companion novel. I don't know if it's a sequel or a prequel. I'm not clear on that, but I wanted to reread Shades of Grey before picking up the next piece. So finally we're getting more of that world. It is a world in which colors define your social status, not the color of your skin or anything, but the colors you can see, because not everybody has a full ability to see the spectrum of light So the main character in Shades of Grey, Eddie Russet, he can see a pretty large swath of red, which makes him high in the red category of the hierarchy in this society. It's very interesting. Jasper Fforde writes very dense and sometimes complex worlds, and so it is a slow read because there's just so much information that you're gleaning as you as you read. But I'm loving it again as much as I did the first time so far. So I'm excited to continue reading that, and I just don't know how long it's going to take me to actually read it and do a video on it because it is a slow go. In any case, if you've read Shades of Grey, let me know what you thought of it. And we've started Fargo season 5, so we'll be talking about that show soon. We've got the Percy Jackson television series coming up, and we'll be able to talk about that when that starts in a few weeks. Lots to look forward to on the channel. Hope to see you then and there, and until then, take care.